Hi guys, it's fall, it's October 3rd, and we're going to go a little bit heartier tonight. I am making a ragu. Now, my aunts, Aunt Dora and Aunt Dotsie, were fabulous cooks. Aunt Dotsie would have us over to her home on Sundays when we were little kids, and I can remember the rich smells and the wonderful taste that she could put together. One of her best dishes that I recall was either a chicken spaghetti or the beef ragu. And so what we're going to do today is walk you through what we've done. Now I'm going to open this pot, and this has been cooking for hours. So let me put this over here and we'll explain how we started. I started off in this Cuisinart Multicooker, and I'm using this because I can cook all day and not have to worry about it except for a couple stirs. So I started off early this morning, about 7 o'clock, with 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And then H-E-B had a sale on shoulder chuck roast. So I bought one, it was about 3 pounds. And I took that, and in this pot, in the 3 tablespoons of oil, I went ahead and browned each side, including the sides of it. So one side, then the other, and then basically on the edges. So I browned that, and then during that time, I added half of a red onion and half of a white onion chopped up. While that was happening, I took almost a whole head, well, I took about really 3/4 of a head of garlic and chopped that up. I didn't put that until a little bit later. I wanted the onions to soften up. So we got the onions softened and we let that go. And then we took one of the tubs of the small cherry tomatoes and we put that in there. Now, the multi-cooker was on 350 degrees initially. We took it up to 375. So now we've got tomatoes, onions, garlic, and the beef in there. Then I took 1 can of the whole tomatoes like this, and I chopped them up. So I said reserve the juice because I'm gonna need the juice. Reserve the juice, and then I added that. I added 1 can of the organic tomato paste. I got this at Kirkland's. This is very, very rich. Now, I gave that a stir. The meat is in there, the onions, all of that good stuff. A lot of, like, I was making a bolognese, I would include more vegetables, like carrots and that type of thing. But with this, I'm just making a simple ragu. I'm also adding about a third of a cup of sugar. I like my sauces a little bit sweeter. So we're gonna turn this now on slow cook after we've gotten everything browned and the onions softened. I add a cup of wine to the tomatoes and the meat and stir that around. I add a tablespoon of thyme, a tablespoon of oregano, and a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. I also add black pepper, fresh black pepper, and I add salt to taste. I'm gonna stir this around, and then I let it slow cook. So since it's been on since about 7 this morning, we are now at 2:30. So it's been cooking that long. During that period of time, and I've had it on low, the meat has started to break up. So the big chunks have gotten where it falls apart. So I've tried to break some of that up because tonight I'm either gonna serve it over pasta, which is the traditional way, or Mark would like potatoes. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, as you can see, and let me get a spoon here. As you can see, the sauce has really thickened up. Now remember, there's no flour, so you don't have to worry about the gluten in the flour. This is just nice, thick, rich tomato and beef. So the next thing I am going to add, because we're gonna let this cook some more, we're gonna add fennel seeds. Now I'm using the whole fennel seeds. I like the whole fennel seeds. It reminds me, when I use fennel seeds, it reminds me of Italian sausage. So this is gonna add another layer of flavor to this ragu. I'm gonna put that there. And then the last thing I'm gonna add here today, as you can see, I've got fresh basil leaves. I don't want to put that in early on, they'll disintegrate. So what I do is I try to wait for a while. Now I'm just gonna give that a rough chop and get ready to put that in there. If you want this a little bit thinner, you can add a little bit of stock or you can add more wine. But the flavors are going to be very intense with this. As the meat continues to break up, you're gonna have bits and pieces of the meat throughout your sauce, and that makes it really, really nice. So we've got that here. Let's stir this around. I'm gonna give it a quick taste before we put the top back on it and let it continue to cook for a couple more hours. This is the kind of thing you can do in the morning. You get home in the afternoon after work, and you've got a wonderful, wonderful meal. Very rich, very intense, very reminiscent of my aunts. And so give this a try. If you have any questions, you can message me on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll answer them for you. You can also top it off, finish it off with a little balsamic vinegar. The other thing you can do, if you want to make it a little rich, you can finish it off with a bit of butter. So I would say a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and you put that in your sauce and you're ready to go. Serve it over pasta, serve it over rice, serve it over potatoes. You will have a meal that will get you in the mood for fall and you'll enjoy it. So I hope you try it. Thanks for stopping in. We'll catch you another time.